Welcome to Money Chic, Financial Education with Shari Rash, the podcast that's here to empower you with the knowledge and skills you need to master your personal finances and live your best financial life. Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to talk about a blog topic that I recently published for creating millennial wealth, 7 strategies to increase your net worth. There's oftentimes statistics going around among millennials in the fact that millennials spend too much money, they don't save enough, they have debt, they're not buying houses, they are paid less than generations before. And quite frankly, one reason is because we're not buying houses, and we're maybe spending on what previous generation deem as frivolous, because we are burdened with student loan debt. Buying a house is really, really expensive. We saw in the last couple of years with interest rates going up how that impacted the cost of owning a house over the lifetime of owning it. And so there's so many things that millennials are up against. When we first hit the job, when we first became an adult and got our first job, we saw 2008 happen, and half of our 401k just went away. It came back, right? But can you imagine, as you start working, half your 401k, half your savings just poof is gone due to market volatility. So millennials have been up against a lot. Again, high inflation is another killer when it comes to our spending power. Interest rates, like I said, student loan debt. So there's so many things that millennials are up against, and we really need to create a strategy or focus on ways for millennials to increase net worth that's outside of the traditional way of that our parents and our grandparents grew their net worth, which was through owning a home. That was the main driver of their home. Most people, their net worth is tied up either in the equity of their home or in their retirement accounts, because you're taught 2 things: 1, buy a house, and 2, save for retirement. So if you follow those rules, your money's in one of 2 places. But the problem is that the money in your home is really, really hard to access. You have to tap into your equity, which that sounds easy enough. Well, let me just get the money I had in my home, let me get it out so I can use it for improvements or what have you. But it's qualifying for a mortgage all over again. And just because you have $300,000 worth of equity in your home doesn't mean you can withdraw all $300,000. The bank will tell you how much you can withdraw, and most of the time it's nowhere near that number. But then also, if we save all of our money in retirement, anything that comes up in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we really don't have access to that money without paying taxes. No matter what, we're going to pay taxes if we access that retirement money. But 2, penalties if we're younger than 59 and a half. So I want to talk about ways millennials can create net worth today. And net worth is not something that's talked about too often. We often hear about, well, how much money do you make? That's talked about. Or what is your home worth? That's talked about. But net worth isn't often spoken about. And I'm not quite sure why, because it's a pretty easy concept to understand. Net worth is what you own minus what you owe. What you own minus what you owe. So if we think about a house, we own our house and it's worth $500,000. That's what Zillow is telling us it's worth. And we have $300,000 of a mortgage left, so we owe $300,000. The actual worth of the house to us, to our personal balance sheet, is $200,000. So what you owe minus what you own. And it's not uncommon for many millennials, if they don't have that house, that big asset, it could be possible that you have a very low or negative net worth. If you have student loan debt or debt in general, it's very realistic that you could have a negative net worth. So your focus should be to grow your net worth. So I'm going to talk about 7 ways to grow your net worth. And the first thing is to pay yourself first. And really that's pay your future self. So do things your future self will thank you for. This plays into my second strategy, which is have a plan for where your money goes. So often, especially if it feels like we're living paycheck to paycheck, a paycheck comes in and it goes out right away. It goes to the bills and to maybe something you want to purchase that you've been delaying until you had the money for it. But it's important to have a plan where your money goes. And one of those things should be to pay yourself first, pay your future self first. So slice off a portion of every dollar that comes into your house. Start off small, 5%, take 5% of your pay and put it into first a savings account, an emergency fund. We need to build that up first, which I've talked about before, and I'll continue to talk about in other videos and podcasts, but slicing off just a portion of your pay and putting that into a savings account that you don't touch. It doesn't exist. So paying yourself first. Once you have a bank account built up and an emergency fund built up, that's when we can then move to investing and trying to grow that money, which I'll talk about in a minute. But we really need to pay yourself first. So having a plan for where your money goes when it comes in, that's really key to growing your net worth, because if you don't have a plan for when money comes in, your money's controlling you, not you controlling your money. So the income, generally speaking, we earn is a set number. We know how much is coming in. So the only way to create more money is to spend less, right? If we have $5,000 a month coming in and we are on a salary and we know that that's what our salary is, then the only way to create more money is to spend less. So finding ways to spend less. That does not mean giving up your luxuries or living on a strict budget, but instead create a spending strategy that takes into account your current income and your current expenses and forcing you to save or reduce debt. Reducing debt is really the big way to have more cash flow, have more money to work with to save for the future or enjoy today. So having a plan for where your money goes, ideally 50% of your income goes to needs. So 50% of your income goes to the stuff you can't live without. And traditional budgeting fails us because it tells us we can only not live without mortgage or rent, water, electric, cable. It tells us we can only not live without those things. But in reality, there's a lot of other things we need in life that may be a streaming service, which previous generations think is frivolous. But we may have our streaming service as one, because that's our primary form of entertainment, or two, because we're not paying it. We don't have a regular cable. We don't have a cable box. Instead, we have streaming services. So what can you not live without? And ideally, that's 50% of your income. So if you're able to fit within that guardrail, that then leaves another 50% of your income to pay down debt, to save, and to spend on the things that make life better. You want to consistently, number 3 way for millennials to increase your net worth is to pay off debt. So your net worth is what you own minus what you owe. That's your net worth. So if you own $100,000 worth of something, but you owe 70, your net worth is really 30,000. But if you own $100,000 worth of something and you owe 50,000, your net worth is now 50,000. So we just increased our net worth just by reducing our debt. So consistently paying off debt, getting rid of that high interest debt is a big one. So if you have credit cards, getting rid of those, making the focus to get rid of those high interest rate debts, reducing your student loans, So getting rid of debt has just as much, if not more, powerful impact on your net worth because you're getting rid of the high interest. Your dollar is actually going further by getting rid of the high interest debt versus investing it. So if your credit card, for example, has an 28% APR, historically investing gives us a 7% annual rate of return historically. Your dollar actually goes a lot further if you take that dollar and move it to reducing that high interest debt versus investing it. So paying off debt is actually more powerful on your net worth than investing. So if you are working the other way around, if you're solely focused on investing and you're kind of just letting your debts accumulate, or you're paying the minimum, or you're not as structured with paying off your debt each month, switch it. Go the other way around. Get rid of that high interest rate debt first. So that was number 3. Number 4 is to invest wisely. So investing doesn't have to be sexy. It can be just a globally diversified portfolio. It's easy, especially for millennials, to get wrapped up in the Bitcoin of it all, or in this, investment that's going to make us so much money so fast, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it could be, and we could make a lot of money off of Bitcoin, but we don't want to keep all of our eggs in that basket. We want to be diversified. We want to have our money spread out in lots of different places because not everything is going to perform well at the same time. And if you're so over concentrated in one stock or one type of investment, if that goes down, because at some point it will, everything goes down at some point and recovers. But if it goes down, you're out of luck because your whole or the bulk of your investment was in that one thing. So invest wisely. Spread out your money. If you want to take advantage of those riskier investments or those little, not as mainstream type of investments, do it, but don't put all of your money there. It's just that's one slice of the pie. Number 5, a way to grow net worth is to diversify your income. So relying on one income stream can limit the way your debt paying ability and the way you save. And millennials are notorious for having more than one stream of income. We're all getting side hustles or selling using our skills outside of our job and, selling it on Etsy or consulting or using Fiverr, being a contractor on Fiverr. There's so many different skills that we have, and more millennials are using those skills as a way to create additional streams of income. So if you have a skill or you have if you have the desire to diversify your income, really pursue it. The traditional way of thinking was, well, I'll get a house and I'll rent it out, which that could be a solution, but there's so many other options out there that can use your skills that you already have, not take up too much more of your time, and really get you some extra income into your household. Number 6 is to regularly review your financial health. So regularly do a pulse check on your net worth. It's a simple calculation: what you own minus what you owe. So taking a pulse check of your net worth every year is a really great thing. The goal is to grow your net worth by 5 to 10% a year. That's the goal. And again, you could grow your net worth just by reducing your debt. It doesn't mean you're saving and investing and your money is growing that way. It's reducing your debt has just as powerful an impact on your net worth. So regularly reviewing your financial health. What is going on in your life financially? What needs to be improved? And doing a pulse check on that and finding ways to increase your net worth and improve your financial health. If you invest your money, your net worth could grow easily by 5 to 10% a year, because again, historically, markets grow by 7% a year. Now, that's not every single year 7%. Some years it could be 20, other years it could be negative 15, but on average, we're at 7%. So just by keeping your money invested and staying disciplined is a way to chip away at that 5 to 10% net worth ideal growth. And the last way to grow your net worth is to seek help. We have help. We find help for everything. We see therapists to improve our mental health. We have nutritional coaches, behavioral coaches. There are so many ways that millennials seek out help to better ourselves, but we don't often seek out ways to improve our financial health. And that could be for many reasons, because we're intimidated, because we're confused, because it may be hard to find someone that we trust. But by seeking out professional help with an advisor, a tax advisor, it's a way for them to provide you information and advice and actionable steps, and also an accountability partner. So then it's not just up to you to monitor your net worth and review your financial health. That's something you do with your advisor. And it's well worth the investment, because financial advisors can find ways to reduce your tax burden, right? So that's obviously a way to increase your net worth by keeping more of your money, paying less in taxes. So less taxes, creating a spending strategy, saving for retirement and the future, but also living in today and doing things smart today that can help you and give you better control of your finances. So again, millennials, ways to grow our net worth. A net worth is what you own minus what you owe. The 7 ways to grow your net worth: pay yourself first, come up with a strategy that you are systematically saving each and every pay. You need to pay yourself first for always when you have money coming into your household. 2, have a plan for where your money goes. If it all comes in and it all goes out, you don't have a plan. So have an idea of what's coming in, what do you owe, what are you going to save, and where is your money going? Consistently pay off your debt, especially your high interest rate debt. Reducing your debt has just as much of a positive impact on your net worth as investing does or saving does. Invest wisely, diversify your money. Don't just put all of your eggs into that coolest, hippest, newest investment out there. It's not sexy, but a globally diversified portfolio will do wonders for you. Diversify your income. Find additional ways to create more revenue into your household. Regularly review your financial health, measure your net worth, have a goal for net worth growth each year and measure it. Identify ways you can increase your net worth, and then seek out help. Work with an advisor, talk with an advisor, find a tax professional to help you, to hold you accountable, provide you ideas that you may never have thought of before. Thanks for joining me today. If you want to learn more, please visit my website, greenwaywealthadvisory.com, and let's start the conversation. Take care. Ever wondered how to secure your financial future? Introducing Financial Foundations, the ultimate financial planning program. Take control of your money, plan for the future, and build a secure financial foundation. Join us on a journey to financial freedom. Visit greenwaywealthadvisory.com today to start your path to a brighter financial future.